I remember I was in a big anime phase at the time as well, and I remember I had like a playlist of all of my favorite intros, and I had like the second Death Note intro, and like the intro from Noragami, and I had I liked the Death Note soundtrack a lot. I used to listen to that all the time. Yeah, I had a big weeb phase. I did have a big weeb phase. No, I did. You may not believe me, but I did. I did have a big weeb phase from around 2013 to like 2016, 17. I was a big weeb. I think I've just simply moved on in life. I still enjoy anime a lot. But I used to watch a lot more anime than I do now. I think my anime phase ended with One Punch Man, I think. Like I watched One Punch Man, and I think after that point I didn't. It's like with some shows, you'll just get like halfway through and you're enjoying it perfectly fine, and then you just kind of stop, you know. The Rumbling wasn't out when I was in my anime phase, but that is a song that I listen to now a lot. If there's one thing that makes me want to learn how to nail a false chord scream like that, it's so I can sing along to that. You know, when Ike did his voice note and he sang that song, oh my god, it's a real banger. No, I love that song a lot. No spoilers, by the way. I haven't seen Attack on Titan past season 1. I've only seen season 1. It's like I had this with Hannibal, right? I watched season 3 of Hannibal. I watched all 3 seasons of Hannibal. I was loving it. I got to like episode 10 of season 3, and then I just stopped. For whatever reason, I was loving the show. And I was like having a perfectly good time. And then episode, like right near the end of season 3, it's about to be finished. I'm about to be done with the show. I just stopped. I just stopped watching Hannibal for no fucking reason at all. And I still haven't seen the ending. I don't know why. I still haven't finished it. Maybe I should. I feel like it's been so long. It's literally maybe been like almost 8 years since I watched Hannibal. So I feel like I need to go back and rewatch the whole series because I remember loving it a lot, you know. I'm at a point now where like I'm so invested in like, you know, film and stuff that I can't watch TV of any kind while doing something else. I know a lot of people's process with anime is to like load up Crunchyroll or Netflix or whatever it is on like either on like a laptop or on a second monitor or something, and to then get on with your work or to play a game at the same time. I can't do that. I cannot do that with anything. I did that when I was watching Darling in the Franxx while I was playing RuneScape, and that's because I made myself... And also, remember, I can't read subtitles. Well, I can't read subtitles. Well, no, I can't speak Japanese, so I would need to... if I want to do something else, I would need to watch a dub, and I don't always want to do that. I watched Darling of the Franxx, but I did do something else at the time, and it's because I was doing a really low-effort grind in RuneScape, and I felt like I could actually concentrate at the same time. But, you know, the rest of the time, when it comes to stuff like... I like Darling in the Franxx too. It's one of the ones that I brought up on my debut, but it's like, just because I like it, it doesn't mean it's like great, you know? I do like Darling in the Franxx. It's just like, while I was watching it, I was like, I understand and I recognize that these are tropes that appeal to me as a person, but that doesn't mean that they're done perfectly, right? So it was like, I said this in my debut, I like a show where the two main characters are out there destroying aliens while they are screaming to each other about how in love they are. I was like, this is just good for me. This is a me type show. I could recognize that the structure of it was weird and the implications of the universe were weird. Hannibal is amazing, but I'm not saying it's the kind of show that I would have finished and had an existential crisis. You know, that was Hunter x Hunter. When I finished that show, I didn't know what to do with myself. So I'll tell you a fun story when I watched Hunter x Hunter. So I watched Hunter x Hunter when I still had my orange Windows phone, right? And basically, when I got my phone, they said, okay, here's your SIM card. You're gonna get, this is before 5G existed, all right? So it was either 3G or 4G. And they basically said, you're gonna get 2 months of unlimited data. And I was like, bet. So a lot of the time when I was traveling and when I was like commuting, when I was on the bus, when I was in the back of someone's car, no matter where I was going, I had my little Windows phone, and I was booting up episodes of Hunter x Hunter 2011, and I was watching those, and I didn't have to worry about using too much data because I had it unlimited for 2 months. And I binged the shit out of that show because I knew that I wouldn't be able to watch it when I was out and about unless I downloaded it at home or whatever, but I wouldn't be able to watch it out and about if I waited too long. And so I just watched, but it's okay because I was enjoying the show enough to the point where I just watched it really, really, really fast. God, there haven't been many shows that I've binged. I would say that I'd say in my anime phase I binged quite a few. I binge watched, what anime have I seen? I did that my anime list for Joey, and it was really funny because I gave Mirai Nikki an 8, but then I looked at it and I was like, I actually don't think I've seen that show. It was kind of late at night while I was rating them, and I saw Future Diary, and I was like, I remembered the first intro, and I was like, oh, that was a banger. And then I just gave it an 8, and I moved on. I actually haven't seen that show. But, okay, wait. The first anime I ever watched was Steins Gate. I watched that with my friends. It was one of my mates from back home got me into anime, and he showed me Steins Gate. That was my first one. And we binge watched that like as a group, like me and 3 other guys. We were all just bunched up in a bedroom. We just had his laptop and we were watching Steins Gate, and we all just kind of got really into it. But the thing about Steins Gate is that it's got quite a slow start, and then it gets really good. And I remember like not really being all that into it at the beginning, because like I was just, I was just like, when's stuff gonna start happening? And then you get to like episode 7 or 8, and I was like, oh my goodness. After Steins Gate, I watched the first season of Attack on Titan. Then I watched Code Geass, and I think for the longest time Code Geass was, and probably still is, my favorite. I watched Code Geass seasons 1 and 2, and I binged the shit out of that one. That one was really, really good. Fantastic show. One of the best endings of any show. Beautiful stuff. Then after Code Geass, I watched Death Note. Death Note I have seen 3 times. I watched it with my dad. It was really funny, right? So I'll tell you this, right? So I watched Death Note on like Crunchyroll first, like just in my bedroom, by myself, and I loved it. And then what I did was, this is a core memory for me. I remember I went on like a trip with Akumama. We went to London, and we went to this place in London in the UK. It's a comic store called Forbidden Planet, and because I was like kind of into like anime and comics at the time and stuff, Mum was like, hey, why don't we go there? And I was like, sure, all right. And then we went to this place. It was really cool. They've got like figures and stuff there. They've got like, they've got a load of like merch and posters and stuff. And I was walking in there, like felt like I was walking into the lion's den and all of that. But when I went downstairs, they had this huge collection of anime DVDs, manga, and everything. And I found the box set for Death Note, the disc box set, and I thought, I want that, and I got it. And there was also like this sort of like bonus manga chapter. I got the box set and I took it to my dad, and then when I took it to my dad, I was like, Dad, promise you're gonna love this show. You're gonna love this show. And I showed him the first episode, and he was like, honestly, my dad was not sold based on the first episode. That's a great first episode. But my dad wasn't really sure what the conflict was. He was like, because he had never seen anime before in his entire life. My dad had never seen anything. He knew what it was, but he'd never seen it, right? And he'd never like actually sat down and tried to watch it. Watched the first episode of Death Note, and he was like, well, I mean, what's going to happen? He's just killing everybody. I don't really understand. It's all right. It's just pretty good. It's all right. And then I was like, now, shush, Dad. Now we're going to watch the second episode. And then L shows up, and then he's like, right on Light's trail. And then my dad was like, okay, I get it. And after that, me and my dad, we binged the entire series. And to this day, he always looks back and he says like, Death Note is really good. So my 1,000-year-old dad is out there at the golf club with all of these somewhat wealthy pensioners, and he's like, and it's really funny because my dad was brought up in an environment where he did not have a lot of money at all, and he's just sort of like So he's just kind of like, you know, a raised working class man who's kind of just slipped into this world full of these people who invest in property and shit. And he's out there telling them to watch Death Note. It's really, really funny. The other series that I watched with my dad was One Punch Man, and he loved that as well. And I watched Full Metal Alchemist with my mum. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. All 64 episodes. I watched that with my mum, and we really bonded over that, and that was really, really nice. She's so cute. She's so adorable. And you know what she did? We were getting to the end of the series. We were on like the final 3 episodes. And I'd already seen it. I was just showing it. I was just watching it again to watch it with her. And at the end, she was like, "Got present for you, son." And she gave me like a little Edward Elric keychain. You know, she'd like gone out of her way to get me a present based on the show we were watching. And I was like, "Mom." Oh, it was really, really sweet. And so that was like a really nice memory for me.